There's a story out right now that I've been following since the spring, and it suddenly has appeared again in all the national news. That is regarding the high price and availability of turkeys for Thanksgiving this year. It first came to everyone's attention in the late winter spring when this huge wave of avian flu came through all the turkey breeding areas, and tens of millions of birds needed to be slaughtered due to the illness. There was a certain calming for a while, but now the avian flu has reappeared. Even though generally it doesn't reappear in hot weather, it is reappearing and creating a great deal of concern for both breeders and consumers. Add on to this inflation and the high costs that farmers are paying for feed, for transportation, for packaging, for labor, and you're having a perfect storm for some turkey issues come Thanksgiving. Evidently, the price of a whole turkey has gone up 57% in the last 5 years. White turkey breasts, which are really, really popular with people, not just at Thanksgiving, but year-round because they're smaller and more portable. 2 years ago, they were $2 a pound. Now they are $6.50 a pound. Breeders and producers are dealing with some of these challenges by sending their birds out to market earlier. Frozen ones I'm referring to, which means they will be smaller. This was something that they already were mentioning in the spring as a way to avoid the avian flu and to get things out to the consumer faster and better and still have a supply chain that made sense. So this is all a little concerning. Thanksgiving, personally for me, is one of my favorite holidays. I love the holiday. It's a holiday of great warmth, of great large amounts of food, of family. It's also generally a very inexpensive holiday. There are no real expectations. You have a turkey, which is generally very inexpensive. You have stuffing, you have bread, you have beans, you have mac and cheese, all sorts of stuff which is generally inexpensive to buy, meaning you can feed a lot of people and have a wonderful feast for relatively low cost. It's also a time of year where food banks and food distribution sites give out extra food. Usually a turkey goes along with that to people who can't afford it themselves. Employers also may give out turkeys or gift cards for turkeys from local supermarkets. So what do we do? What we do is we look for solutions. That's my philosophy. Look for solutions. So here are some solutions I have for both hosts and guests. If you are a host, really think about what you're doing here with your Thanksgiving meal. If the turkey is going to be very, very expensive and a little out of your reach, it's okay to buy a smaller turkey and fill in with side dishes. We often buy way more turkey than we need because we like to give out leftovers, and perhaps it's not necessary. It's okay to ask your guests to bring significant side dishes. Every Thanksgiving I've ever gone to, it's been very much a potluck event. And if it hasn't been for you, or if the guests don't bring things of that high a magnitude, it's quite all right to ask them to up their contribution this year. I think everyone understands and people like to help, and it's part of that community spirit that Thanksgiving always seems to represent to me. So don't be afraid. Ask people to really pitch in this year with beverages, with side dishes, even with wine, whatever. Just don't be afraid. Turkeys have always been kind of a lost leader for supermarkets. I mean, you could usually get a cheap turkey cheaper. If like you bought $35 worth of stuff, you could get $10 off your turkey, or you buy $100 worth of stuff, you get a turkey for significant price drop or even free. I don't know how that's going to play out this year. Supermarkets are evidently going to still be receiving the same amount of turkeys they've always received, but the price might be higher, and it might be harder to find those lost leaders and to find turkeys that are significantly reduced because the grocery store margin is always so small, and they're paying more wholesale for those turkeys than they have in the past. However, Thanksgiving is often a time of reduced food prices for all sorts of things, and I stock up for a lot of things. I stock up on butter, on flour, on sugar, whatever I see that's significantly reduced. So they still might do it, and if you do find an outstanding deal, buy two. One for Christmas, because nothing's going to change between now and Christmas if you eat turkey for Christmas. So definitely scour those grocery store listings and the little inserts with the sales, and check out your app if you have any shopping center apps or supermarket apps or grocery store deal apps. I would start looking now and be quite aggressive about chasing those deals down, especially with the turkey. Try having a second side dish. If you have a smaller turkey, get a ham, get a pork tenderloin, get some chicken. Thanksgiving is a time of abundance. If it's not all turkey, it's quite okay too. There's so many great things to eat, and a lot of people actually don't like turkey. So this gives everyone some options and might help keep your grocery prices lower. If you are a guest, talk to your host. Hosts like to be approached. Say, listen, I want to help out this year a little bit more than I have in the past. What can I do? And I'd get in there soon. And follow through. You might just make a simple stuffing. You might want to make a more elaborate stuffing with sausage or something in it. Just go to that next level to help your host out, because they're going to be struggling a little bit this year. Also, don't ask for leftovers. Unless they're offered. A lot of guests feel that they're, entitled to leftovers, and this might not be the year to do that. It's quite okay if you don't go home with leftovers and the host keeps the leftovers. They put the time, the energy, and the money into the dinner, so if your host is like me and likes to do things themselves, and if you're a guest who doesn't cook real well or doesn't like to cook or doesn't have the place to cook, then you can either purchase something or you can offer to buy the ingredients. You can say, hey, Grandma, I know you make this couple different pies. I can't make pies, but I sure would like to help you make pies, so why don't I just buy all the stuff that you need to make a pie? Or whatever else specialty there is, or whatever. So that is also a way. You can be part of it and do your potluck end of it without actually having to cook. Whether you are a guest or a host, do not throw that turkey carcass away. That can give you lots and lots of wonderful soups and bone broths and extend the life of that turkey for weeks and months to come. I have a couple videos on how to make turkey bone broth, and you can just end up with tons of it. It's so easy. You put it in the crock pot with water. You can, do the same turkey carcass a couple of times, and that stuff is so good, especially with egg noodles. You can float some vegetables in it. I make big, like 2 or 3 cup frozen chunks of it, wrap it up in saran wrap, and just throw it in the freezer. When I want some soup, I pull it out, throw it in the crock pot, it melts up, and then add noodles and vegetables. So good. You can really get your money's worth out of the Thanksgiving turkey. So even with the high cost of turkey, Thanksgiving doesn't have to be stressful. There are many workarounds. Hopefully I've given you some ideas on how to work around stuff and how to maybe keep your costs down even though costs are going up. Thanksgiving's a wonderful holiday. It's a wonderful time to get together with friends, family, neighbors, whoever you like to spend time with. And shouldn't be stressful, especially financially stressful. So if you have any tips or tricks on how to keep the cost of Thanksgiving down with this new information about turkeys, please comment below. All of us could benefit from reading some of your thoughts. Anyway, here's to happy shopping and a wonderful fall season. Thank you so much for watching.